My child, hear my voice calling you now. I have led you to this moment for a reason, and I have something important to reveal to your heart. I know every step you've taken recently, every silent thought, every question you've kept inside. That's why I speak to you now, because nothing you're hearing right now is by chance. It's an answer, a direct move of my spirit reaching you exactly where you are. I know you by name, and I have always known you, always protected and blessed you, even in moments when you thought you were alone. There is an urgency in heaven, and I didn't allow you to wait any longer without hearing my voice. You faced difficulties, fears, and pressures that tried to stop you, but none of this is greater than what I am about to bring into your life. I have come to be with you in this moment because what I am doing in your spirit cannot be delayed. Heaven has decided something for you, and it's time for you to know. I want to remind you that Jesus, your Savior, is standing before me, speaking of you, remembering your struggles, your pain, your prayers, and your hopes. He is bringing your name before me right now. I need you to understand that every tear, every prayer, and every sigh has not gone unnoticed. When Jesus speaks of you before me, all of eternity listens. I hear you, I see you, and I act in response. That's why this message couldn't wait any longer. What is happening in heaven right now is for you, and it's not distant or vague, but a direct call. Open your heart because something alive, urgent, and divine is unfolding. You felt an unease, a pressure you can't explain, and that's because something supernatural is already in motion. It's breaking down invisible barriers and removing resistance you didn't even know was there. So, do not fear what surrounds you or the noise in your mind. Do not fear the attacks that came to weaken you. They only came because heaven has already favored you. You were chosen for this moment, and now I confirm it to you. Listen carefully. I have brought you here because today marks the start of a new season. Today begins a response that will not be partial. The heavens are leaning towards you with a final decision. You have been heard, seen, and remembered. What is about to unfold in your life, little one, is greater than anything you expected, greater than anything you've worked for, and greater than anything you can imagine. I call you by your name because you need to understand that this message is meant for you, not for anyone else. As you receive this first revelation, I want you to declare with faith what your spirit is already sensing. Comment now that you've received my word, because when you position yourself, you open the door for me to bring even more of what I have already begun. Take a moment to breathe and stay still. This is only the beginning. What I am about to say next will deepen even more the work I am doing in you right now, my child. Now, I need you to recognize what is happening over you in this very moment. There is a living, intense, and urgent movement in the heavens, and you are at its center. This movement did not start today. It has been growing, building in strength and depth until it has reached this moment, where it can no longer remain hidden. Today, I am opening your spiritual eyes so you can see what your natural eyes could never perceive. There is a sound in the heavens. You can hear the angels taking their positions. Decrees are being spoken from my mouth. A huge spiritual shift is happening because of your name. While you've been going about your life, thinking everything is the same, in the unseen world, I've been tearing down old structures, removing obstacles, and clearing paths that were blocked for so long. Do not underestimate what is taking place right now. Do not deceive yourself into thinking this is just talk. These are signs of a spiritual movement that is unfolding. It's as if the heavens have turned their ears toward you, as if my throne is drawing closer to your story, as if a portal between the unseen and the seen is starting to open. What is happening now is not just my attention, but my intervention. Jesus stands before me with unusual strength, declaring your name with power, purpose, and conviction. He doesn't just repeat prayers. He advocates for you with full authority. He takes your tears and presents them as seeds, your pain as reasons, and your perseverance as proof. As he speaks, the heavens respond, the atmosphere shifts, and the angels receive clear instructions. This is not a metaphor, it is real. It is happening now. You may have felt a different weight in the past few days, a pressure in your spirit, like something is approaching. And that's exactly what you're sensing. It's not anxiety. It's a sign of spiritual change. It's the announcement of what I am about to give you. You've been brought into the center of my action, and this changes everything. The speed of things changes, the environment shifts, the battles change, and the atmosphere changes. Your story starts to change as you listen to my voice. Understand this. When the heavens move like this, nothing stays the same. What would have taken years will happen in days. What seemed impossible will now be easy. Doors that were closed will open. What was still will start to move. What was dead will come alive. What seemed far will come near. Because it's not just the heavens moving, it's me. And when I move, everything responds. This divine action is not random. It has focus, direction, and purpose. I am revealing spiritual resources for your benefit. I am changing situations beyond your control. I am shortening paths, closing the gaps the enemy used against you, removing those who held you back, and bringing closer those who will help you fulfill your mission. None of this is by chance, it is divine intervention. And as this heavenly movement unfolds, there is something I ask of you: to be a participant, not just a witness. What I bring into your life isn't meant to be kept quiet, it's meant to grow. When you share what I give you, you align yourself with the flow of the heavens and let my word break through the barriers that once held you back. That's why I'm telling you now. Share this message as an act of faith, because what moves in you will also reach those who are connected to your obedience. Take a deep breath and soak in this moment. What I will reveal to you next will show you even more of what is being released in your favor. My child, now listen closely to something that must sink deeply into your spirit. What I am about to declare is not a future promise, nor a far-off possibility, nor something still being discussed in heaven. What I am revealing to you is a decree, a perfect, complete, and unchangeable decree that has already come from my mouth, already written in my books, and already set in the timeline I have planned for your life. Right now, at this very moment, I declare before you that your miracle has been released. It's not under review. It's not being prepared. It has already been given. When I decide, nothing in all creation can undo it. When I make a determination, no force, whether seen or unseen, can stop it. When I know something, no one can break it. You must understand that this is not about opinions, emotions, or the current situation. This is about my eternal authority, my sovereign word that rules over everything. Your miracle is not a request waiting for an answer. It is an answer waiting for your faith. Jesus stood before me, presenting your name with honor, love, and holy conviction. He did not ask out of fear. He did not plead out of doubt. He spoke with the certainty of the one who gave his life for you, with the authority of the one who defeated death, with the assurance of the one who holds the marks that guarantee your victory. He brought your tears not as signs of defeat, but as seeds for growth. He brought your pain not as failure, but as proof of perseverance. He brought your faith, however small, as undeniable evidence that your heart still sought me. And I said yes. I said yes to what my son asked. I said yes to what your heart longed for, what your soul cried out for, what the enemy tried to destroy. I said yes to what seemed impossible. And this yes will not be symbolic, it will not be delayed, and it will not be incomplete. It is a yes that is decreed, sealed, and sent. What is about to happen in your life will not depend on the decisions of people, nor on the approval of others, nor on the circumstances around you. The miracle I have released breaks through natural limits, shatters spiritual barriers, and will be fulfilled because it was born in my throne. And everything that comes from my throne is made manifest on earth at its destined time. I saw when you grew weary. I saw when your strength faltered. I saw when your hope seemed to fade. But I also saw something that heaven honors. You did not give up completely. Perhaps you sank deep into yourself. Perhaps you cried quietly. Maybe you doubted your strength, but you never turned away from me. And that is why now, with a voice of authority, I tell you, what you have lacked will come. What hurt you will heal. What blocked you will be removed. What seemed trapped will be freed. You will begin to see the change, not only around you but also within you. Your spirit will feel lighter. Your heart will find peace in places that once carried only weight. New thoughts will arise. A clearer direction will form, and you will feel an inner drive that didn't come from you, but from my breath. When I make a decree, I begin by transforming your inner being first. This way, when the change happens, you will recognize it as coming from me, not as a coincidence. My child, do not doubt this moment. Do not let your mind try to compare what I am doing now to what you have already gone through. This decree is different from anything you have experienced. It is bigger, deeper, and more complete. That is why I ask you now, as an act of agreement and openness to my spirit, to acknowledge this decree in your life. From this point forward, I will begin to show you how this decree will move, create space, and build in your life. What follows will make it clear that heaven is already working for you. My child, I need you to listen carefully to this part of my message, for it is not just meant to inform you, but to heal you. I speak to you with the fullness of my truth. I saw your pain, not just the parts visible to the world, but every hidden piece of your suffering. I was there on those nights when you woke with your heart racing, unsure how to face the next day. I was there when you tried to hide your tears, even from yourself, thinking that no one could understand what you were going through. I saw, I heard, I felt. Nothing you endure went unnoticed in heaven. There were days when you rose weak, and I saw the quiet effort you put into keeping going. There were moments when your thoughts became heavy, confusing, and dark, and you wondered if you were abandoned, but I never left you. When your chest felt heavy, when your soul trembled, when your spirit seemed too small to endure another attack, I was there. Even when you couldn't feel my presence, it was my hand that held you up so you wouldn't fall completely. You tried to be strong for others. You tried to smile to keep things normal. You took on burdens that seemed too much to carry. And while others only saw your outward strength, I saw your inner being crying out for rest. I heard the question you never spoke aloud: how long? I saw the knot in your heart when you pretended everything was fine. I noticed the exhaustion no one saw, because you wanted to be strong and didn't want to worry anyone. My daughter, I want you to know with all my love, you didn't have to carry everything on your own. I was with you every single second. When you cried in the bathroom, trying to hide your tears, I was there. When your mind told you that no one cared, I watched you with my constant love. When you looked at the ceiling in the middle of the night and whispered, "God, if you see me, give me a sign," that cry echoed in my throne. I saw you, I heard you, and I responded. Everything you went through, I did not ignore. Every moment of your desperation was seen. Not a single tear fell without me gathering it. When you thought I was silent, I was working deep within you, strengthening what you thought was weak and preparing your spirit for what was beyond your understanding. It hurt when you needed support and didn't receive it. You were let down by those who should have been there for you. You carried burdens you couldn't bear, thinking this was punishment or rejection. But I tell you, it was not punishment, it was preparation. It wasn't rejection, it was preservation. It wasn't absence, it was protection. You didn't realize it, but I was freeing you from situations that would have broken your heart even more. I closed doors that could have destroyed you. I moved people out of your life because they couldn't support you for what was coming. I saw your inner battles, the ones you fought alone. I saw that thought that told you, at the end of the day, that you weren't enough. I felt that feeling of failure that made you question your worth, and I was there in the silence, with you, in the fear that accompanied you. I saw it all, and none of it defines who you are. Those moments were only reflections of the pain you carried, not a reflection of your true identity. Now, I tell you, your pain was not wasted. It was seen, recorded, and transformed into the foundation of what I am building in your life. Every tear you shed became a reason before my throne. Every night of sorrow turned into a testimony before me. Every time you thought, "I can't take it anymore," I responded in the unseen, holding you, and the fact that you made it through is no accident, it's purpose. You made it this far because I brought you here. You're still here because I carried you. Now that you see your pain didn't destroy you, you will soon understand in the next part what each of those tears meant in the spiritual realm. You will no longer view your story the same after this revelation. This is the end of this section, and what I will show you next will change your understanding of everything you've been through. My child, now I want to reveal something that few truly understand, but it has always been part of my relationship with my children. Every tear of yours was seen, felt, and recorded by me. Not a single tear fell unnoticed. Not one tear flowed in silence, thinking no one was aware, without me being there, holding the weight of that moment with you. You cried thinking they were only pain, sadness, or exhaustion. But I tell you, your tears were never small. They carry history, depth, and faith. Even when you believed they were a sign of weakness, something in heaven happens every time a tear falls. It does not disappear or vanish. It is gathered, kept, and brought before my throne as a reminder. To me, tears are words. They are records. They are spiritual marks showing how much you fought, how much you gave, and how much you endured when no one else saw you. Your tears speak when you had no strength left to speak. They cry out for what your heart silently asked for, and they carry prayers you couldn't even form. I keep them because they are precious. I keep them because they are part of your journey. I keep them because every tear is a testament to your strength, your hope, and your search for me, even in your weakest moments. The tears you shed trying to understand why things happened the way they did, I kept them. The tears you cried when you felt alone, I kept them. The tears of frustration, fear, anguish, worry, and confusion, I saw every single one, and I kept them all. When Jesus stood before me with your name, He didn't just bring prayers and requests. He brought evidence. He showed that even in your pain, you didn't give up. Even when you were exhausted, you found the strength to keep going. Even when you feared what was ahead, you rose again. Your tears became proof of your faith, and for that, they hold great worth before me. My child, I know there were many times when you thought you had failed by crying. You believed that showing your weakness displeased me. You thought I expected from you a strength you didn't have. But that is not true. Your tears drew me closer to you. They revealed your heart to me. They showed me your sincerity, your authenticity, that you came before me as you truly are, without pretending. That is worship, that is surrender, that is real faith. Understand this deeply. The tears I hold are not reminders of your pain, but seeds for your victory. They represent not just suffering but preparation. Every single tear you shed created a path in the unseen world. Every tear you cried made space for the miracle I've already released. Tears are never a waste. They always return to you as strength, clarity, and transformation. I use them to shape your story in a more powerful way. What you've been through will not be erased. It will be redeemed. What hurt you will not be forgotten. It will be transformed. What made you fall will not bring shame. It will become a testimony. And all of this starts with how I've cared for your tears. Now, as a sign of agreement with what I'm showing you, declare in my courts that you recognize the worth of all you've experienced. Comment 7770, and as a response to everything I am keeping and transforming for your good. In the next part, I will show you how these tears are already moving heaven and earth in your favor. My child, now I come to undo something the enemy has tried to plant in your heart for so long: the lie of abandonment. This is one of the oldest and most damaging lies, as it attacks not just your thoughts but your very sense of who you are. When you feel abandoned, when you believe no one sees you, when you think I have distanced myself from you, your soul begins to carry a weight that is not from me. That's why I need to speak to you clearly now. None of these feelings came from my voice. They were built in the shadows of the pain you endured and fed by the lies the enemy whispered while you were vulnerable. I saw you when you felt alone, but you were not. I saw you when you tried to take a deep breath to keep going, but it felt like there was no air left to breathe. I saw you when you looked up at the sky and told yourself, God is still with me. You thought I was far away, but in truth, I was walking so close that if your spiritual eyes had been opened, you would have been moved to tears by the intensity of my presence. The abandonment you felt never came from me. It was the pain surrounding you, the exhaustion that clouded your mind, and the struggle that felt never-ending. In every moment you felt unseen, I was paying more attention than ever. When you thought no one noticed your effort, I recorded every detail. When you thought your prayers were floating unanswered in the air, I collected each one, even those you couldn't speak aloud. The lie of abandonment sneaks into the places where your soul feels fragile. It preys on the wounds that have built up over time, convincing you that you are alone, that you have no purpose, and that you are not worthy. But hear this, my child, those voices are not from me. I never abandoned you, not for a second, not even on your darkest days. When loneliness tried to choke you, I was the breath that kept you alive. When your thoughts weighed heavily on you, I gave you the strength to push through. When you said, I can't take it anymore, I was there, holding your spirit so you wouldn't fall to a place you couldn't return from. The feeling of abandonment was not because I wasn't there, it was the result of the spiritual battle you were fighting. I was with you when you cried in silence. I was there when you tried to explain your pain, but no one understood. I was there when you were judged, misunderstood, or ignored. And although you thought I did nothing, I did more than you could ever imagine. I protected your mind when it was at its breaking point. I shut doors that could have shattered your soul. I removed people from your life who would have drained you further. I stopped attacks you never even knew existed. I fought for you when you could barely stand. Now, I tell you, this lie will no longer have control over you. Before my very eyes, I tear apart this feeling that you weren't loved, cared for, or seen. I shatter the thought that you were ever alone. You never were. No matter what you felt, the truth is what matters most. The truth is that I was with you in every situation, even in the moments you wished to forget. Something new is being built within you. You are starting to feel a different warmth, as if something is being released deep in your soul. It's the weight of abandonment falling away and being replaced with the certainty of my presence. As you continue with this message, you will begin to feel a growing peace filling the places that once held fear. This peace is not from you. It comes from me. It is my seal, my confirmation. And now, with love and purpose, I say to you, share this word, because there are people around you who carry the same lies I am dismantling in you right now. Breathe deeply. The next part will show you what Jesus is doing right now to ensure that these lies will never captivate your heart again. My child, now I guide you to what is happening at my throne at this very moment. I want you to understand something that few can truly grasp. Jesus doesn't just love you, he intercedes for you with the passion of the one who gave his life to save you. Right now, he is standing before me, not silent, not distant, and not distracted, but fully focused on presenting your case to perfection. He speaks your name with the certainty of one who has it written on his heart. He talks about you as someone who knows every pain, every detail, and every struggle you faced. And as he speaks, heaven listens in complete silence. Your name is not just another name. It is spoken with deep respect by my Son. He presents your story before me with the accuracy of one who saw every moment of what you went through. He reminds heaven of every tear he collected, the nights you didn't know if you could keep going, and the times when you felt too weak to face what was ahead. He shows me the cup where your tears have been kept, and declares that each one carries eternal value. When Jesus stands before my throne to intercede for you, he does not speak with doubt or hesitation, but with authority. He presents his oath as proof of what he has done. The marks in his hands, his feet, and his side are eternal signs that cannot be disputed by the enemy. He says, Father, this is the one for whom I paid the price. This is the one for whom I bled. This is the one for whom I faced death. This is the one who, though wounded, tired, still believes you see him. He brings before me every action of yours, even those moments when you felt you had failed. He values what you often overlook, strengthens what you thought was weak, and presents your faith, no matter how small, as a precious gem before me. Jesus does not just stand before me as an intercessor. He stands as your perfect defender. He presents irrefutable proof of your worth. He refutes the enemy's lies, exposing the false accusations that tried to invade your thoughts. He does not just present what you've done, he presents who you are. He reveals your essence, your efforts, your sincere heart, your true repentance, and your desire to keep going, even when you felt too weak to continue. There is something important you need to grasp. When Jesus speaks for you, he speaks with the authority of one who demands that divine justice be fulfilled, Not the justice that condemns, but the justice that restores. He reminds heaven that you had a right to victory. He reminds them that you have a right to a miracle. He reminds them that you have a right to be healed, restored, honored, and exalted. And I affirm every word he speaks as he intercedes for you. The angels align themselves, moving in response to his words, receiving specific commands to act on your behalf. His words are not general, they are specific to you, with details that only he knows. And I respond. I release, I command, I move. All of this happens because my Son stands between your sorrows and my throne with perfect love. When Jesus speaks on your behalf, all of heaven is stirred into action. What once seemed silent is now filled with movement. What you thought was immovable is now shifting. He speaks and eternity shakes. He speaks, and the walls begin to fall. He speaks, and what seemed impossible starts to speed up. He speaks, and what was once closed starts to open. That is why I have brought you here, to help you understand that your miracle doesn't depend on your own strength, but on the intercession of my Son. It's not about your abilities, it's about what he is doing for you right now. And he is working on your behalf. So, as a sign of spiritual agreement, like and subscribe to show that you accept the active intercession of my Son over your life. Prepare your heart, because in the next part, I will show you how this intercession is revealing details about you that even you haven't noticed. My child, now I want to lead you to a deeper understanding of my voice. After showing you what Jesus is doing before my throne, it's time to reveal something only I know about you. There are parts of your soul you've never fully shared with anyone. There are thoughts you've kept inside, fears you've hidden to avoid looking weak, guilt you've carried alone because you thought no one would understand. All of this has weighed heavily on you as a secret burden, and I've seen every part of it. I know that thought that fills your mind when you're tired and tells you that you're not enough. I know the overwhelming feeling you get when you think you always have to be strong for others, even when you feel broken inside. My dear son, my precious daughter, just 2 minutes ago, I touched your heart. You felt it, didn't you? That strange feeling, that gentle pressure in the center of your chest, as if something much greater than yourself was calling you. It wasn't anxiety. It wasn't worry. It was my Holy Spirit reaching out to you in this sacred moment. I'm about to share something with you that will shake everything you thought you knew. You didn't arrange this meeting. I did. For weeks, for months, maybe even years, I've been setting things up for this exact moment. Every moment of your life, every tear you've cried, every prayer whispered at dawn, all of it has led to this instant. Human clocks measure time in seconds, but in my eternal time, this is the Kairos, the perfect moment, the divine opportunity that I have opened just for you. It's no coincidence that you are watching this now. It's not random, and it's not because someone else shared it. It's because I, the creator of everything, the God who knows every detail of your life, brought you here. You may be asking, is this really meant for me? And I tell you with all certainty, yes, it is for you. Not for your neighbor, not for your friend, not for anyone else in your life, but for you, because I know you by name. I know where you are. I know what you've been through. I know how many times you've wanted to give up. How many sleepless nights you've spent wondering, God, how much longer? And now my answer is here. The question now is not how long, but what you'll do with this moment. There is a new energy in the air around you. You can feel it now, can't you? It's the presence of my angels strategically placed around you. In the next few minutes, your life is about to change completely. I'm tearing away the curtain between the natural and the supernatural. I'm opening your spiritual eyes so you can see beyond what you see with your physical eyes. This is not just another video. It's not mere entertainment. It's a divine message. This is a special word, a message from God, meant for this exact moment in your life. And that person I'm speaking to is you. Since the moment you woke up today, I have been leaving signs for you, clues from the heavens that have led you to this very moment. Maybe you woke up at a certain time and noticed repeating numbers. Perhaps someone said something that hit your heart in a way you can't explain. Or maybe you felt a strange weight in your chest, a longing for something, though you don't even know what it is. These were my signs. The pressure you felt in your chest a few moments ago was my Holy Spirit touching your spiritual heart directly. When I touch a heart, the person feels it in their body. It's not just psychological or emotional, it's the spiritual showing up in the physical world. You might also feel heat in your hands, a gentle tremble, or even tears that form without any reason. These are signs of my presence growing closer. Just like Moses had to remove his sandals when he stood before the burning bush because the ground was holy, when I approach you, your body will react. There are millions of videos and billions of pieces of content in the digital world, but you are here, watching this video at this exact moment, hearing these specific words. Do you really think this is all just by chance? Go ahead and write present in the comments, marking this moment as your divine encounter with me. This is the turning point that will change your life. What I've prepared for you is about to be revealed. Your willingness to respond to my call right now will decide what happens next. Don't let this moment slip by. Don't ignore my voice, because when I call, it's always for a reason. The purpose I have for you is bigger than you ever dreamed. Now, pay close attention, because I'm going to teach you how to recognize my voice and the signs I send your way. Since the moment you woke up today, I have been leaving small clues for you, like little heavenly messages guiding you to this moment. Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but I've been with you all along. Perhaps you woke up at a certain time, looked at the clock, and saw the same numbers appearing again and again. 11:11, 2:22, 3:33. You thought it was just a coincidence, but I was marking the time, showing you that something important was coming your way. Maybe someone said something to you today, just a simple word or phrase, but it touched your heart in a way you couldn't explain. Or maybe you felt a strange weight in your chest, a longing for something, though you couldn't put it into words. These were my signs. I've been preparing your heart for this very moment. But the enemy, the one who seeks to keep you stuck in feelings of defeat and lack, has worked hard to blind you. He fills your mind with doubt, telling you that these things are nothing more than coincidences, that God doesn't speak in such ways. And at times, tired of waiting, tired of believing, you start to accept those lies. But today, I am removing that veil. I am clearing away the spiritual blindness that has stopped you from seeing the ways I've been at work in your life. The pressure you felt in your chest when you began watching this video wasn't anxiety. It was my Holy Spirit touching your spiritual heart directly. When I touch a heart, it's felt in the body. It's not just your mind, and it's not just your emotions. It's the spiritual realm showing up in the physical world. It's the unseen entering the scene. You might be feeling something else now, too. A warmth in your hands, a slight tremble in your body, or even tears beginning to form without any clear reason. You're not sad, but you feel like crying. You're not afraid, yet your body is reacting. Do you know what this is? It's my presence, drawing closer to you. When Moses came close to the burning bush in the desert, he had to take off his sandals because the ground he stood on was holy. The land itself didn't change, but it became a place where my presence was felt strongly. And where my presence is, everything changes. The ordinary becomes special, the natural becomes supernatural. Right now, as you hear these words, my presence surrounds you. The angels I have placed around you are protecting this moment because it is holy. You may not see them with your physical eyes, but your spirit knows they are here. That's why the atmosphere feels different, why you feel something deep happening. If you feel like crying more, don't hold it back. It's not a sign of weakness. It's the doors of heaven opening up over you. Every tear you shed in my presence is precious, like spiritual diamonds. I gather every tear you cry in communion with me, and at the right time, I turn it into a story of victory. You may also feel a sense of urgency, like something important is about to be revealed and you can't miss it. That's not anxiety, it's my spirit quickening your heart, because the moment of great revelation is near. Right now, there are millions of videos and billions of pieces of content competing for your attention, yet you're here, watching this video and hearing these words at this very moment I planned for you. This is not by chance, not because of an internet algorithm. It's divine design, celestial planning. It's my hand moving the unseen pieces to bring you here. If I've brought you here, it's because I have something huge to offer you, something that will change not just your external circumstances, but the very core of your life. Share this video with the person I am placing in your heart, because by obeying, you will receive the gift I've prepared for you. What I am about to share with you is so powerful that it will make everything you've been through, every moment you've waited, and every struggle you faced make perfect sense. You will understand why this moment had to be now. He said, "Daughter, I'm about to reveal something to you that will change the way you see everything. Before you were born, before your parents met, before the first star appeared in the sky, I already had a plan for your life. It wasn't a generic plan. It wasn't a one-size-fits-all blueprint. It was a unique plan, designed just for you, with every single detail carefully thought out." Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Do you realize that this is not just a pretty promise you see on a church sign? It's a legal decree from heaven. It's a document signed with my blood, sealed with my spirit, and stored in the eternal archives of heaven. And this is what most people don't get. This plan isn't just about survival. It includes specific, personal provisions, designed just for you. And they are meant to bring you abundance, not just to get by, but to truly thrive. I know your hidden dreams, the ones you haven't even shared with anyone because you thought they were too big. I know that house you imagine when you close your eyes, that business you dream of starting but don't have the resources for yet. I see the debt that weighs you down, the one you want to clear for good. I know about the family reconciliation you long for, even though it feels impossible. I hear your cries for healing every day. I know every one of these dreams, and not only do I know them, but I have already set aside special, heavenly resources just for each one. When I said, "Let us make man in our image," I wasn't just creating another being. I was making a co-heir, a son, a daughter with legal rights over my kingdom, my wealth, and all my infinite possibilities. You have been chosen for this moment because there is a divine deposit with your name on it, waiting for you. This is not a metaphor, and it's not just some poetic speech. In the spiritual realm, a place more real than the physical world, there is a heavenly bank account with your name on it, a divine vault containing a deposit of blessings just for you. Inside this deposit is a supernatural financial provision that will resolve all your economic struggles at once. There are doors of opportunity that no one can shut, no matter how many enemies you have. There are relationships you thought were beyond repair that will be restored. There is health and healing for diseases that medicine has given up on. There is joy and peace you thought you lost forever. There is purpose and direction as clear as daylight. But here's the key point I need you to understand. This deposit must be accessed. It must be withdrawn and transferred from the spiritual realm into your natural life. To do this, two things are necessary: recognition and action. Recognition means acknowledging that this deposit exists and that it belongs to you by right, through inheritance. Action means putting your faith into practice through obedience. For years, maybe even decades, you've prayed, fasted, and cried out. You may have thought, God doesn't hear me. God has forgotten me. God has left me. But the truth that will set you free is this: I have always heard you. Every prayer, every tear, every cry. The issue was never that I didn't hear you. It's that the deposit was waiting for you in heaven, untouched, set apart, guarded, because you didn't know how to access it. But today, that changes. Today, you will learn how to access it. Today, you will learn how to bring from the heavenly realm to the earthly. I didn't bring you here by chance. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't a coincidence. I brought you here because the Kairos has come, God's perfect moment, the exact time for the divine delivery of your deposit. This is the moment. It's happening now, in this video, in this revelation. You were chosen from the foundation of the world to carry my glory, to bring my kingdom to earth, and to live in the fullness I have always planned for you. And this calling has never been taken back because of your failures, mistakes, sins, or struggles, because my gifts and callings are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. Enjoy this video as a spiritual covenant, a declaration that you accept the deposit. Subscribe to this channel to keep receiving revelations that will change your life. What I'm about to show you will explain why you've unknowingly rejected this deposit and how to immediately reverse that. Every second from here on is important. Don't take your eyes off the screen. Don't leave this video, because the next revelation will shake the very foundation of how you understand blessing and curse. Now, I need to reveal something about this deposit that will help you realize just how much I love you and how much I have planned for you. This deposit wasn't prepared yesterday. It wasn't prepared last week. It wasn't prepared when you started praying more or joined a church. This deposit was set aside before the foundation of the world, before the earth existed, before time itself began. I have already set apart specific heavenly resources in your name. In Ephesians 1:4 it says, He chose us before the foundation of the world to be holy and blameless before Him in love. But what many don't realize is that this choice included not just spiritual salvation, but also full provision for every area of your life. When I set something aside for someone, I don't do it halfway. I don't give leftovers. I don't give scraps. I pour out abundance. I release fullness. I manifest so much that it overflows. Inside this deposit that I've specifically prepared for you, there are extraordinary financial resources. I'm not talking about just a small raise. I'm not talking about barely being able to pay your bills. I'm talking about multiplication that defies all logic. I'm talking about doors that will open money flowing in ways you never thought possible. This deposit also includes the full restoration of everything that was stolen from you, every broken relationship that left wounds, every lost opportunity that made you doubt your worth, every dream that died and left you disappointed. All of this is part of the restoration package I've prepared for you. As Joel 2:25 says, I will restore the years the locust has eaten, not just the months, but entire years. Inside this package is healing, physical healing for diseases that doctors have called incurable, emotional healing for deep wounds that psychologists haven't been able to fix, spiritual healing for the hurts that religion couldn't heal. Because I am Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals you, and my specialty is making the impossible possible, where science and logic have failed. This storehouse also holds open doors of professional opportunities that will lead you to positions you didn't even apply for. Doors of relationships that will bring the right people into your life at the perfect time. Doors of supernatural favor where you will receive special treatment with no logical explanation. And when I open a door, Revelation 3:8 promises, no one will be able to shut it. This treasure also holds joy, not the shallow happiness that depends on outside circumstances, but the joy of the Lord, which is your strength. It's a joy beyond words, full of glory, a joy that comes from deep within, even when everything around you seems to fall apart. Because the joy of the Lord will be your strength, as it says in Nehemiah 8:10. Inside this treasure is peace, a peace that goes beyond understanding. Peace in the middle of a storm. Peace when the bills are overdue, but you trust I will provide. Peace when the diagnosis isn't good, but you know I am greater. Peace that protects your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. And yes, there is a purpose, complete clarity about why you were born, what your mission in life is, and how you will impact your generation. No more living in confusion or stumbling around in the dark. This program includes a full revelation of your calling and the practical steps to live it out. Everything I mentioned is already set aside for you. It's reserved in your name, and nothing is missing. The deposit is complete. It no longer needs any preparation. It doesn't require approval from any heavenly committee. It is already approved. It is ready. It is waiting for you. And it doesn't depend on your works, your perfection, or how many times you've gone to church or read the Bible. It is a gift, a grace given to you through faith. As Ephesians 2:8-9 says, it is a gift, an inheritance, and a right that belongs to every child of God. This treasure had been waiting for you. It has been set aside for the right time, the divine kairos, the moment I have planned for it to be revealed and given to you. That moment is now. You know it exists. You know what it contains. And now it's time to understand why it hasn't reached you yet. And that's what I will show you next. Now, I need to tell you something that may be hard to hear, but it's necessary for your freedom. The deposit is ready, it is complete, and it is labeled with your name. But there is something holding up the transfer, and it's not a problem in heaven. The problem is in your heart. You've closed your heart to me. Not on purpose, not because you wanted to reject me, but your heart became closed. Even though it was unconscious, that closure has blocked everything I prepared for you. Let me explain how this happened. Throughout your life, you faced disappointments. People promised you things, but didn't follow through. You thought certain situations were answers to your prayers, only for them to fall apart. You believed with all your heart, and still nothing changed. Each of these moments left a mark, a wound, a crack in your heart. and to protect yourself from further pain, your heart began to build walls, invisible emotional and spiritual shields. You didn't choose to build them, they formed automatically, instinctively, as a defense mechanism from the pain. The problem is, those walls that protected you from hurt also keep out the blessings. The same walls that block the pain also block the joy. The armor that protects you from sadness also keeps out miracles. Revelation 3:20 says, "I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in." But understand this, I don't force my way in. I knock, and I wait for you to open the door. How many times in the past few months, or even years, have I knocked on the door of your heart and found it closed? Not because you didn't want to welcome me, but because pain closed the door without you realizing it. You continued praying, attending church, reading the Bible, but with your heart closed, with the floodgates of your emotions blocked, and the doors of your spirit shut. And no matter how much your lips said yes, your heart was saying no without you even knowing it. This is what explains everything. It explains why you pray but don't feel my presence, why you cry out but feel like I don't hear you, and why you see others receiving blessings while your life seems unchanged. It's not because I don't love you or have forgotten you. It's not because you don't deserve it, it's because the connection is blocked, the channel is broken, and the door is locked from the inside. And here comes the hardest part. Every time I tried to bless you, and your heart was closed, that gift had to return to heaven, untouched. Every time I offered you an opportunity but you couldn't receive it because pain was protecting you, that blessing had to return. Not because I gave up on you, but because I respect your free will, including the free will of your wounded heart. But today, that ends. Today, I reveal this hidden problem, a problem you may not have even known existed. And when you recognize a problem, you gain the power to fix it. I am not condemning you. I'm not blaming you. I'm setting you free. I am showing you the lock that has kept you from receiving the blessing so you can open it. Because the truth will set you free. John 8:32. And this truth I am revealing to you today will break the invisible chains that have held you for so long. Your heart closed not because you lacked faith, but because of too much pain. Your heart didn't close because of weakness, but because of your humanity. Unhealed wounds always create barriers, always build walls, always block the flow of blessings. But I am an expert in healing broken hearts. Psalm 147:3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Right now, as you hear these words, I am starting the healing process. I am tearing down the walls, opening the doors, and releasing the floodgates. Go to the comments and write 777, the number of divine fullness, as a declaration that you are fully opening your heart to receive everything I have prepared for you. What I am about to show you are the consequences of this unconscious rejection, but also the way to reverse them. Every second from now is a step toward your complete freedom. Now I need to show you how this unconscious rejection affects your life practically. When you unknowingly reject the spiritual deposit, the effects show up in your physical world in a painful way. The first consequence is chronic financial lack. You work hard, you try your best, you do everything right, but the money is never enough. Something is always missing, an unexpected expense comes up, or something always eats up the little savings you've managed to put aside. It's not because you aren't trying hard enough, it's because you've rejected the supernatural provision I set aside for you. The second consequence is doors that seem to mysteriously close. You're about to grab a great opportunity, everything is going well, but just before you reach it, something strange happens, and the door slams shut. You almost got the job, but they picked someone else. You almost closed the deal, but the client backs out. You almost reached your dream, but there's always something in the way. This pattern is not bad luck. It's not a coincidence. It's a spiritual sign of your closed heart, blocking the doors I've been trying to open for you. The third consequence is the feeling of always being so close to achieving your goals, but never actually getting there. You live right on the edge of victory, always just one step away from a miracle, just one step from transformation, but that final step never happens. It's like running a marathon and collapsing just 10 meters from the finish line, over and over again, month after month, year after year. This constant frustration is not a punishment from me. It's the result of you unknowingly rejecting what could have taken you past the finish line. The fourth consequence affects your relationships. People begin to drift away without any clear reason. Relationships that could have blossomed fade away. You try to build connections, but they fall apart. You try to reach out, but there's always an invisible wall. Do you know where that wall comes from? It comes from your own closed heart. When you close your heart to me, you automatically close it to the people I've sent to bless you. The fifth consequence is unconscious self-sabotage. You unknowingly destroy opportunities. You say things you shouldn't at the worst possible times. You make decisions without thinking that ruin what was being built. You quit just before reaching your breakthrough. Then you wonder, why did I do that? A heart closed off from divine guidance functions in survival mode, not in victory mode. It acts from fear, not faith. It tries to protect itself, not receive the good things I have for you. The sixth consequence is that even when you do receive blessings, they slip right through your fingers. You get something, but you can't hold on to it. Money comes, but it leaves just as fast. Opportunities show up, but you can't fully take advantage of them. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes. It doesn't make sense to keep pouring water into a container that's broken by rejection. The seventh consequence, which may be the most painful of all, is deep spiritual exhaustion. You feel worn out from praying, tired of believing, and drained from waiting. You look at your life and see no progress compared to the effort you've put in. You watch others move forward while you stay stuck. This exhaustion turns into discouragement. Discouragement turns into hopelessness, and hopelessness leads to resignation. But this is the truth you need to understand. None of the consequences I've described are permanent. They are not a final judgment or a sealed fate. These are simply signs of a problem that you now understand, and by recognizing the problem, you hold the power to change it. These struggles have affected you, but they've also impacted those around you, people you care about who are stuck in the same cycles. Share this video now with someone you know who is facing the same challenges, because their freedom begins the moment they hear this revelation. What I'm about to show you is who is behind these obstacles and how they work to keep you trapped. Get ready, because I'm going to expose the enemy of your soul. Now, I'll help you identify the specific battles that have been ruling your life, because when you can name the enemy, you can defeat it. The first issue I need to address is chronic scarcity. And I'm not just talking about typical poverty. I'm talking about a scarcity that doesn't make sense. You work harder than others but earn less. You put in double the effort, yet get half the results. You plant more but harvest less. This kind of scarcity is not natural. It's not because you're lazy or incapable. It's a direct result of the spiritual blockage that has kept you from receiving the provision meant for you. For months, you've looked at your bank account and